Good morning. It's great to have you with us here at Unity. Today we get to touch on one of those powerful spiritual principles that transforms life. It is so important, and we have beautiful music to support that journey. So I invite you to take this time, whether it's during the music or talk or meditation, but take a moment to just reach deep within and touch the magnificent spiritual being that you are.
And join us with doing some songs. We're going to start with I'm Choosing Heaven Today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. Heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. Passion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I choose compassion today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. Keep standing. Don't sit down yet. We got another song. We got another song. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. The right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. In the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. In the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I am the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Hey. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Souls are welcome here, and we welcome Chapel and Dave. Well, just finished a radical forgiveness weekend. It was wonderful. So all the people who were there forgive you, okay? Join me now in turning to our camera, waving your hands and saying good morning to our friends online. Thanks so much for dropping in. You're always welcome here. If you're ever in the neighborhood, we'd love to welcome you in person. My name is Sheila Gautreaux. I'm one of your ministers here. A very tired one this morning, but I'm here. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to our service. If you are new to Unity, I offer a very special welcome to this positive path for spiritual living, a way to the Christ, the divinity, the I am of your own being, where you realize that God is ever present in your life, in every situation, and in every way. And through the power of affirmative prayer, which is our benchmark in Unity, we find that path a little bit more easy to navigate. For 125 years, Silent Unity has been using this prayer method to support millions of people around the world. Let us use together that prayer method right now as we join together in our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Take that in. Breathe it in through the heart. Let that truth settle in to the deepest places of our being. And again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Breathe it in even more deeply. Let it become the truth at every cell of our being. And once more, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And as we allow that truth to settle in, as we accept it, as we know it for ourselves, our families, our friends, our communities, and our world, it is embedded within our consciousness worldwide and becomes a reality for our lives together as one in God. And I am so grateful. Would you say that with me? I am so grateful. Once more, I am so grateful. And one more affirmation of that. I am so grateful. And so it is. Amen. Please remain seated and join Chaplain Dave in our next song.
I pray hope, I hope. I am hope. I have hope. I pray hope. I choose hope. I am hope. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. I have love. I pray love. I choose love.
I choose love.
I am love. I have love. I pray love. I choose the love.
I choose love.
I am love. You are love. We are love. All God's children are love. You are love. We are love. All God's children are love. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well.
So take that deep breath through your heart. And as we enter into our time of prayer, we begin with our heart ministers sharing their blessing with us this day. David?
Good morning, everybody. Our community prayer. We open our hearts today to embrace and support all of those in our church family who are experiencing health challenges. Through our faith in God, we know that you are whole and perfect and hold the space for this manifestation of this truth. With compassion, we honor your courage to face these conditions and offer our support at those times that it may be difficult to stand with you in truth and knowledge of the healing power of God. By our love, we offer comfort in the knowledge that the healing power of Spirit is ever present and working continually in your favor. We hold to the truth that all you need, require, and desire for complete and timely healing is available to you by the power and authority of the all-loving goodness of God. Breathe that in. And so it is.
As we take that deep breath, we know whatever is unfolding within each life, that there is a beautiful answer present in this divine presence, in its love and its power. And so we open at this time as we enter into that experience of meditative prayer. We open to this power of love. I invite you to breathe in that love. Mother, Father, God, as we take this time and focus on your presence, we're grateful that you fill us with this love that we consciously experience at a greater level than ever before. For this is our time of openness. This is our time of connection with you. Conscious, grateful, we are open and receptive. And so as we sit here in this sacred space, resting in this body, this divine instrument that we have been given to journey through the earth, grateful for the beauty and the blessing of our earth, of the opportunity as souls to grow and learn. For in every moment we are filled with and guided by this power of divine love. So right now we breathe that love in. We let that feeling fill us. We let that love fill ourselves, fill our bodies as radiant, powerful light. This beautiful divine presence we consciously embrace and grow in. We know that it fills our beings, that it touches every part of our lives, that it blesses our families, that it blesses the places where we work and the friendships we have. We know that as we are beings of infinite love, we are instruments through which this divine love touches and transforms the world around us. Breathing in that love, we rest in its presence. At that still center, we rest in stillness, enfolded in divine love.
And know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Be still. Be still and know that I am God.
Rest in that beautiful stillness. Father, Mother, God, infinite love. In this stillness, we are filled with divine love. Our thoughts, are the expression of your love. As we reach out and touch another, it is the touch of divine love. Our words are the expression of divine love. And this beautiful love flows through us to touch all around us. It flows from our hearts across the spiritual community, blessing each one. It enfolds everyone that is dear to us, healing and guiding, uplifting. This divine love blesses every prayer request brought here. For we know with each you are enfolded in divine love and lifted to that which is the highest. This beautiful love flows through our hearts. It flows from here as waves of blessing across our communities and our nation. It flows on to bless the peoples of the world. This divine love flows through our hearts. It joins with all who join us in prayer. About the world, we create this beautiful energy of love, supported by the prayers of all in mosque and synagogue, temple and church, at home or on the hillsides. This beautiful love blesses our earth, bringing balance to all her systems. This beautiful love blesses her creatures. And it enfolds the earth, touching the heart of every single person in the earth. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world.
Be still and know that I am God.
And it is so, here, now, with grateful hearts. Amen.
The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew. But there's no other way, and now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
Thank you, Chaplain Dave, for awakening our spirits this morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's birthday Sunday. If you are celebrating a birthday this month, please stand so we may celebrate you. Online?
Don't be shy.
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
Yay. Have a blessed birthday. My name is Sion, and it is my pleasure to highlight events for you this morning. Join Reverend Sheila this afternoon if you would like to become a member of our Unity community. Or if you are interested in exploring Unity's teachings and history. Our volunteer coordinator, Louise, is on the patio today, waiting to share with you the fulfillment and fun in volunteering. Please stop by and say hi. Unity's Connection class is next Sunday afternoon. This class is an inspiring way to meet and connect with others of like mind. This one-time class focuses on discovering the meaning of our focus for this year, compassion. On the third Sunday, join members of our community who have experienced journeying to Salt Lake City, where they joined 10,000 people from over 100 different religions. I would now like to invite Reverend David to the platform.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. So we're starting a new class. The class starts today, and it's basically, I really wanted the opportunity to share the power of the understanding of our universal laws and how we create our lives. And so we chose to do that focused on the experience of abundance, of really opening and living that truly abundant life. We're doing the class on Sunday, which I've never done before, for obvious reasons. But what we found was that it was never possible for our parents to attend classes because of kids. So we're going to do it Sunday, and if you would like to join this class, there's lunch is going to be served up in on the second floor. We're going to have our class up there, and over the next 8 weeks, we're going to go through the very powerful principles and spiritual laws and practices through which we really allow this divine presence to bring full abundance and goodness and expression into our lives. So I invite you to join us this afternoon.
Find details of these and other wonderful activities in your bulletin and on our website. I now invite you to take a brief moment until the gong sounds to greet those immediately around you.
Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Gonna study the war no more. Gonna study war no more. Ain't 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 gonna study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more. 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 I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside. Ain't gonna no war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna hold hands with my neighbors down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna hold hands with my neighbors down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more, study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. like any woman. Hand in hand, a pilgrim seeking shelter from fears. Hand in hand, a journey of undetermined years. We face the shadow of death in a valley of tears. Valley of oh, I seek a shepherding hand to guide and watch over me. The stranger in a stranger land, hand in hand, lie me down in pastures of green, hand in hand by the still waters lead me. Restore my soul and lead me down this path I can't see. Restore me. Oh, I flee my enemies, those ghosts of the past who haunt me. A shepherd leads me through that valley, hand in hand through that dark shadowy land, hand in hand, fearless of the evils in man. Truly, thy rod and thy staff do bring comfort to me. Comfort me. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I am a pilgrim here. A table is set before me in front of these howling enemies. Hand in hand, my cup runneth over, it seems. Hand in hand, goodness and mercy follow me. Surely I'll sit at this table that's set before me and sup with thee. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow, thank you both. What a gift. So when I was up here sharing with you about the class that's coming up, there's this beautiful image that I've just experienced it as a feeling in so many ways, so many different times, that just opening up and letting oneself be filled with more love and more love and more love. And if God is love, that's a pretty good thing. Yeah, just more God and more God and more God. You willing for that? Okay, that'd be a good thing. Because one of the great thrills of my life, somewhere along the way, I was given the understanding of the universal laws. And they were just such a treat to understand that these principles, these laws, are how we create our life. And it was one of the things that really connected me with Unity when I found that Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, was really a teacher of these laws. In last Sunday when we were here at the Easter service, I got to touch on some of the different ways that I understood Jesus as a spiritual teacher was really showing us how to use this amazing spiritual presence and power that we each are. And that he showed it in terms of wholeness in the body as he'd heal people, and the sense of wisdom as he brought direction and clarity and understanding, and the experience that he went back to again and again of abundance. That part of being here is accepting the love and blessing of this dimension and its care as part of the experience of God. And as I looked at these spiritual laws, realized that every now and then we get a chance to glimpse into an experience where someone actually made a change and engaged that law. And we get to see what happened. There's a man, his name is Joel Hartman. And Joel was a homeless man in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, part of Joel's territory of caring for himself was going through the trash for things that he could find and sell. And so the trash he went through the Omni Hotel. Now, the Omni Hotel is a very high-end hotel in Atlanta. And so one time, Joel was going through the trash, and he came across a wallet. Well, you know, when you're going across to get things that are valuable, generally finding a wallet's a pretty good deal. But Joel realized that, you know, that somebody had probably fallen into a trash basket, and here was somebody who was staying at the hotel whose, you know, money and identity and everything was suddenly gone. So he took the wallet and he went into the hotel and he went up to the desk there and he told the person there at the desk that he'd found this in the trash. And the manager came out, connected with him, and the manager was so impressed. That's not usually our view of a homeless man, is it? But so he figured this man is taking care of one of the guests of our hotel with real care and compassion. So he wanted to respond to Joel, and so what he did was they put him up for the weekend there in the hotel. And now it's a high-end hotel. They had a spa, so he got the whole treatment. Well, and of course, being a business, anything they do that might support business, so they told the press about that, of course. Yeah, we're a business. And so the press carried that. And Joel's family heard about it. And they had been looking for Joel for years. So his family was able to come, and not only that connection with family, but it turns out that Joel had some very significant mental and emotional problems that with the support of his family now he was able to get care for. Now, the difference was that until that moment, Joe was living life by taking. And he changed, and in that moment, he was giving. Giving is a spiritual principle. When we give, we change. And part of the reason that is that the very nature of God is to give. This divine presence can't help itself. It just wants to pour itself and its life and its goodness and its abundance into our lives. And we kind of have this control thing, you know? Well, a little more, a little less. Because the way that we control that is by our thoughts and feelings, one of the ways. This spiritual law that Unity calls the law of mind action. Thoughts and feelings held in mind create after their kind. But there's and you can see when you look at Joel, what are the thoughts and feelings that are part of that life that's creating? But then what happens is there's another law which is like begets like, and that has to do with the action. What we act on, we give power to its nature. And he acted on giving. He was touched by compassion for somebody. And he acted on giving. And that aligns with that spiritual principle. So that good that was waiting there for his life could flow in. You open for a little more good? There is a beautiful example of this in Jesus' teachings. Let me bring it up so I can read it to you here. In his experience, the Gospels record a number of times when Jesus fed multitudes. So this is a simple one, feeding of the 5,000 from the Gospel of Matthew, with a little bit from John. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up, "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. But how far can they go among so many?" "Bring them here to me," he said. And he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. He looked up to heaven. The understanding is that we are seeing a demonstration of spiritual law. We're seeing a demonstration of universal principle. And the first one to demonstrate it is the boy. He was the one that gave up everything he had. Okay? And the boy in us is that symbol of this part, this young part of this young soul that wants to learn and grow and is willing to step out beyond what they know. And so this part of the soul then connects with Jesus, and Jesus is symbol of this Christ self, the Atman, the Buddha mind, this part of each of us that is connected with this universal power, this divine love. And Jesus then looks up to heaven and gives thanks. That symbol of knowing that it all comes from God, connecting with the source. And when that is known, then there is no limit of the flow into the material experience. When we limit that, and we see that flow coming from something else, the job, or the stock market, or whatever it is, when we see that as the source, then we shut it down to that source. When we do that looking at the real source of being, then we connect with that flow. And the action of giving then becomes the expression of that spiritual principle, and that nature of the divine pours itself in and through us. I have a friend, very interesting man. I was on a board of trustees, and this man served on the board with me. It wasn't a Unity church. It was another organization, but a Unity organization. And I found this man so interesting. Now, he was a very wealthy businessman, but as we got to share in our months and times together, what happened was he shared with me a little bit about how his life had unfolded. That he grew up quite poor with, a number of limitations in his world. And yet he had a sense of spiritual connection, but he didn't understand it. The things that he heard didn't make any sense to him. And then he ran across the Unity experience and the teachings of abundance from Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder. And one of the things that the Fillmore teachings focused him on was the experience of tithing. Now, in tithing, we give out that first tenth of that which comes to us, and we give it to that place of spiritual nourishment and support. We do so because that is a powerful way in the third dimension of acknowledging God as our source. So when this man experienced the power of tithing, he could see, it intuitively felt right. It allowed him to make that spiritual connection. But he also realized, if that's true, if God is my source, then what I'm really developing is a consciousness of generosity. And so at that point in his life, when that took a pretty big breath to start his tithing, but he always followed it then with acts of generosity. And I had the gift a couple months later of being able to see what had matured in him and in his life from that. First of all, we had the chance to really talk about his life experience as I shared with him about mine. And he was saying, what he had found in this experience of tithing and giving and generosity was that his whole life had blossomed. Now, yes, the truth is he was a very wealthy man. But he also had a family that so connected with him that that was where the real value in his life was. This wonderful family. And that he had been able to create so much, that as a creative being, he had been allowed to really let this creative power of idea and all flow through him. And his life had just touched many things to help them blossom, and how meaningful that was for him. A couple months later at a meeting, he announced his resignation from the board. There were some things in his personal life that he had to take time to attend to. They were wonderful things, but he didn't feel he had the time to really continue with the board. But the place where I learned from him was after the meeting. Because we're sitting there after the meeting, and he turns to the CEO of the organization and says, "How many employees do you have?" He said, "Oh, about 35. He said, "You know, would you meet me here tomorrow morning?" He said, "and would you be willing to bring an envelope with the name of each of the employees on it?" He said, "I'd just like to give, just acknowledge the wonderful work that they do." And the CEO said, "Sure, I'll be glad to do that." We had meetings that were going to continue the next day. I was there at breakfast when they met, and the man had gone to the bank that evening, and so he took each of the 35 envelopes, and in each one he placed $1,000 in bills, and said, you don't need to tell them where it comes from, but just when you give it to them, just tell them they're appreciated. That's a consciousness of generosity. And what I realized was what had expanded in his world was this ability to be an instrument of blessing. He understood what more than enough was for. He was an instrument for it to flow through and to bring blessing into people's lives. That's what we're here for. Yes, it is about us. We got to do our stuff, and we got to do our growth, and but most of us got over ourselves a while ago. We know that we've had the opportunity to bless and give to families and to create, and we are instruments of this abundance. We are instruments of the love. We are instruments of the healing. And the more generously we give it, the more generously we receive. So what I saw in this man was that living of the principle. And we had the opportunity at our last board meeting. We were looking at the experience of being significantly financially behind. And so we came, what do we do? Well, within your house, within, the places where you work and businesses you've had, we all come into that at some time or other. What do? Usually our mind wants to say, oh, we have to do less. But we understood the spiritual principles, so what we had to do was more. That meant we had to give more. And because Sheila and I know that that is always an invitation to spiritual learning. So we both stepped up and said, okay, through this next time, we will double our tithes. Because we know God is our source. And the other people on the board stepped up in each in their own way to say, yes, we'll step forward and expand and give more. Because the spiritual principle is giving. Not giving into fear, giving. Giving from that flow. And it's fear that constricts that flow. And when we look beyond whatever the circumstances are, and we do Jesus looking up to heaven, we look to that source and we know God is my source. And that's the power and the beauty of the experience of tithing, is it takes that. But, not everyone's at that point in their lives where they step into that. But we can all practice that beautiful principle and be that instrument of blessing. Think this week. There was some time in your week when you were able to be an instrument of blessing for someone. That feel good? Yeah, isn't it a wonderful thing? And it happens at every level. It happens with our words. Okay? It happens with our feelings and our sensitivity when we go to that compassion or understanding. And it happens with our money and our ability to bless and create through that as well. We are instruments of divine love. That goodness that God is flows through us. That's how the world is transformed. God's goodness flows through me. Join me. God's goodness flows through me. Again, God's goodness flows through me. Isn't that a beautiful thing to feel? To think of all the times that has happened again and again, day after day. And we can open and expand it. That makes living a real kick. Again, God's goodness flows through me. It does, it blesses. And as each one of those beings that I've talked about, Jesus, and my friend, and that wonderful homeless man in Atlanta, you know, we know the power of this truth when we put it to work. And it's out of compassion, not just for us, but for our world at this time when it needs it so greatly, that we really open that flow and let it go. Bless you.
Thank you, Reverend David. You've inspired my generosity and gratitude. I now invite you to take a connection card from the seat pocket in front of you. With this card, we each have the opportunity to tap into that power of prayer by submitting a prayer request for ourselves or our loved ones. For that personal experience of prayer, our heart ministers will be available following the service. Our heart ministers are wearing lavender stoles. If you are following us from home and would like to leave a prayer request, please select the Pray Now. Will you submit a prayer request at home on the website anytime? Sorry. Our spiritual focus of the week is God's goodness flows through me. The ushers will receive your card with the offering following the service. It is now time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes attached to the clipboards in the back of each chair. If you are following us from home and would like to leave a donation, please select the Donate Now button on our Watch Live page. Thank you. American mystic and Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, taught that God is a mighty stream of substance, and you are a tributary of that stream. Blessing the substance increases the flow. I invite you now to take your tithe or offering in your hand and know that God is the source of all your good. Please repeat our affirmation with me. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Ain't got no trouble in my life, no foolish dream to make me cry. I'm never frightened or worried. I know I'll always get I heat up, I cool down, When something gets in my way, I go round it. I don't let life get me down. Don't let it get me down. Gonna take it just the way that I found it. I got the Spirit in me. 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 I got the Spirit in me.
They say that life is a circle. That ain't the way I found it. I'm gonna move in a straight line, keeping my feet firmly on the ground.
I heat up,
I
cool down. I got love in my heart, so I share it. Don't let life get me down.
Don't let it get me down.
I've got a smile in my soul, so I wear it. I got the Spirit in me. I got the Spirit in me. I got the Spirit in me. Come on, everybody, sing it with us. I got the Spirit in me. I got the Spirit in me. I got the Spirit in me. I heat up, I cool down, I've got words in my head, so I say them. Don't let life get me down.
Don't let it get me
I
down.
patch a hole in my blues and I play them. I feel joyful, I feel good. Gonna shout it all over my neighborhood. Gonna fly like a bird on a wing. Take a hold of my blues and honey, sing. I got the Spirit in me. 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 Yeah. I got the Spirit in me. 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 Oh. Thank you.
All right, and fold those beautiful beings in your heart and let's share our blessing together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. And let's take hands and share together our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God ever present, family all are we. Let each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth.
You are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.
Ain't got no trouble in my life, no foolish dreams to make me cry. I'm never frightened or worried, I know I'll always get by. I heat up, I cool down, When something gets in my way, I go round it. Don't let life get me down.
Don't let it get me down.
I'm gonna take it just the way that I found it. I got the spirit in me. 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 I got the spirit in me.
They say that life is a circle. That ain't the way that I found it. I'm gonna move in a straight line, keeping my feet firmly on the ground. I heat up,
I cool down. Love in my heart, so I share it. Don't let life get me down.
don't let it get me down.
I got a smile in my soul, so I wear it. I got the music in me. I got the music in me.
I got the music in me. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. I got the music in me.
I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me. One more. I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me. I got the spirit in me.